MacGyver, a show with explosions, damsels in distress, and creepy bad guys. What's going on here? The show launched in 1985, and straight from the beginning, it was clear that MacGyver was here to hang, bang, and change. Okay, that's a little aggressive, I'm sorry. With his intellect and quick thinking, MacGyver works himself out of many situations over the course of the 7 seasons, and solidified himself in American pop culture. Not because he's a womanizer or anything. Today we're going to watch one specific episode, an episode that, in my opinion, is a beautiful representation of the show. I mean, where can you go wrong with a setup like this? The episode begins with MacGyver behind enemy lines in Berlin.
I mean, look at me. I'm dying to leave.
Get it? Because he's in a coffin. I'd like to take a second to point out the dimensions of the coffin. It's important. Well, our German friend suddenly gets suspicious, and now everyone's running. Quickly, they toss this 200-pound man over the side with ease. Some violent turbulence later, MacGyver's plan unfolds. Almost literally. The tops and the sides of the coffin are blown off. Oops. And suddenly, this coffin is a jet ski. How on earth? Look at this thing from a few shots earlier. You're telling me that 4 men threw this man and his at least 100-pound jet ski over the side of the bridge like that. And for some reason, the Cold War era Germans have AK-47s? What? And they're single firing them. The AK isn't exactly known for its accuracy. Well, MacGyver knows his enemy. He isn't worried in the slightest. He's even smiling and doing donuts. Preceding the greatest theme song in television history, I'm not being sarcastic. The intro rolls and we open in what has to be the most dramatic job interview ever. The antagonist appears to be a British man with a beautiful mustache. It is revealed that MacGyver and this British man have a history, and the British man is looking for revenge. You can tell by how his face ticks. MacGyver, on the other hand, shows up looking suspicious. He's escorted to a special safe house by a lady named Miss Blake in the most inconspicuous form of transportation imaginable, a red Porsche. As they arrive, it seems they're being watched. Oh look, it's our man in the mustache. I wonder where this is going. MacGyver. Turns out MacGyver stole some information while he was in Germany, and they are here to decode the drive it's on, after some top-tier narration from our British friend.
My own office doesn't even know we're here. No one does. It's perfect.
Yes, it is.
Things kick off when Mrs. Chung's computer starts looking suspicious.
What in hell is this?
Joke, Peter. Trick or treat. It's April Fool's.
Oh my goodness, he's blown up the computer. That great safe house boss. I feel super safe. Surprise! Our British friend has booby-trapped the whole place and incapacitated Mrs. Chung with a killer doorknob? Then, like a true villain, he shows up on the television. And it's revealed to the other characters the history between these two. Our friend here is supposed to destroy the information, but it seems he's also in the mood for some revenge. Mr. Thornton attempts to pick up the phone, but it crumbles in his hands and explodes.
Don't be stupid, but do be adventurous. Try to escape. Try to find me, please!
In a stroke of brilliance, MacGyver decides to try and leave via the front door, because that's a likely solution. Hold on a second. There's machine guns strapped rather professionally to a mechanical system that allows them to swivel. However, the professionalism stops there, as the only way to fire the weapon seems to be a piece of string. After tapping the door a few times with his knife, and finding out it's the creakiest door to grace the earth, MacGyver and Thornton attempt to lean some metal armor out the door and see what would happen. Surprise! The armor gets shot at.
A hit from MacGyver!
Our British friend is having a marvelous time with this, and from his control center has complete control of the house. MacGyver, though, as always, has a plan.
New chess game with a new
While Miss Blake looks suspicious, the group turns on all the electronics in the kitchen, which somehow affects our British friend's radio signal?
Whale was listening on a radio frequency, so I figured by using every electronic gadget around, I could heterodyne its frequency.
Okay, MacGyver, it's a stretch, but by far not the biggest leap this episode has taken or will take yet. Now that they can't be seen or heard, the group makes a classic life or death scenario situation decision and splits up. Excellent idea, guys. It's foolproof. Surely nothing could happen. Oh, look, Thornton's being electrocuted. Well, who could have seen that coming? Wait, is that a pillow? It's then that Miss Blake starts talking to MacGyver in a way that doesn't make me feel that she's very worried about the fact that they're trapped in a house specifically designed to kill them with a crazy mustache man on the loose. Or maybe it's because she isn't. Then MacGyver kisses Miss Blake because the show wouldn't have been successful if he wasn't thinking with his penis half the time. Miss Blake then pays a visit to our British friend.
Ah, my dear Karen. Welcome to my fortress.
The plot thickens! Turns out Miss Blake is working with Quail, this guy's Quail, as an informant, but not of her own will. It appears that someone Miss Blake is close to is being used to blackmail her. Smells like something MacGyver's gonna have to fix. After some more interesting facial expressions from Mr. Moustache, we come back to Mr. MacGyver making... The heck is this? Miss Blake shows up to open this very well hidden hole in this painting. At first, she starts pushing it to the left, but then changes direction when she realizes it's supposed to go to the right. I get the feeling someone was moving it on the other side and she was fighting against them. I mean, you can see the hinge that the flap is on move, but she isn't even touching it. What the? Miss Blake then informs Quail of MacGyver's glorious invention. And when she asks what Quail plans to do, Quail says this.
My dear, sweet Karen, I only intend to embarrass them painfully. Even MacGyver, especially MacGyver.
This acting is impeccable. MacGyver releases his cart knight thing, and he begins to crawl behind it, below the line of sight of the machine guns.
Why didn't you just do that first?
That's what I'm saying! That's it, buddy. Click some more buttons that do absolutely nothing. Eventually, MacGyver gets those guns right where he wants them, and takes an opportunity to make a run for it. This makes Quail angry.
MacGyver! Come back! I've got Thornton! If you want to see Thornton alive, now is the time. He's waiting for you in the trophy room. I've turned my guns off so you can come back.
Why doesn't Quail just turn the guns back on when MacGyver gets back in line of sight?
I like to whisper too.
Oh my gosh, if I had $1 for every time this guy's face ticked. MacGyver then returns as Miss Blake walks in to find Thornton's body.
He's dead. Electrocuted.
Strange how she knew he'd been electrocuted. Wait, there's no pillow. Oh, there's where the pillow came from. They used a later take for that earlier scene. The show just keeps getting better. MacGyver begins to explain his plan to bring Quail out of his fortress of doom. But first this happened.
MacGyver!
Thank you. Now, you want to tell me if Quail hired you locally, or were you assigned to him?
It was an assignment.
Well, that was a quick confession. It's revealed to MacGyver that Miss Blake is being blackmailed. And of course, after realizing that Miss Blake is the victim of the situation, he pledges to get her brother back. Personally, if he has to. What a freaking simp. Now working together, they begin moving towards the basement in an attempt to interrupt Quail's electricity. Unfortunately, though, Quail has yet another trap within the house to have fun with. Essentially, wherever the light moves, bullets follow. There's so many flaws with this system. What do they have, infinite bullets? Why shine a light where the bullets are? Why not just shoot them? It's okay, MacGyver always has a plan. While they were in the kitchen, he grabbed some vinegar and what looks like might be skin conditioner? Great, now they're invisible to the guns that have a predetermined movement point. You really went big brain on this one, buddy. Except for the fact that he can still see him on his monitor. Oh, they just ran out. Why didn't I think of that? Oh, and it seems like Quail hasn't thought to put microphones or cameras down in this part of the house. So you're telling me that this guy went all out with his machine guns, exploding computer screens, and killer doorknobs, but putting cameras downstairs was his limit. After moving some pipes, MacGyver and Miss Blake make their way to the electrical room. After some more of Mr. Moustache talking to himself.
Where are you? You can't escape. I'll find you. I'll find you. Where are they? Why aren't I finding them?
MacGyver and Blake have set a trap for Quail. He simply has to walk to a specific place in the room that they're in. With that, they spring their trap. After some contractually obligated making out, here comes Quail, who throws a bit of a tantrum. Why is he so angry? He moves to right where they want him. He's almost there. And what? Why did she feel the need to move the mirror that they had so perfectly placed a minute before? A lot happens in the next few moments. Miss Blake jumps out and expresses her gratitude to Quail for showing up. MacGyver then stands up, but what if he just, I don't know, shoots you? MacGyver plays along, acting as if he doesn't know about Miss Blake's situation. After some more facial strokes from our dear friend, MacGyver absolutely roasts him. He raises to shoot, but Miss Blake takes action. MacGyver pulls a string. Water spews all over Quail, pushing him right into the electrical controls. He then clutches his hand, as if that would be the only thing in pain. Get electrocuted like that, I'd like to see you try and not go unconscious.
This one's free of charge.
This one's free of charge. What does that even mean? What does that have to do with anything that's happened in the last 45 minutes? And just like that, Quail's been defeated. MacGyver smiles at the lady, and they all lived happily ever after. Despite their, near-death experiences, killer doorknobs, explosions that somehow electrocute people. Ironic, huh? This guy clearly had a lot of time to be able to set up all these traps to be able to capture MacGyver and complete his mission. Yet he's fooled by the one trap MacGyver set up on the fly.